My coach had one rule above all others. You do not respond to negativity on the court. No words, no gestures, no reactions. You play clean, you play kind, and you let your game do the talking. I respected that rule completely. I respected it every single minute of every single game, except for approximately 1.5 seconds during a throw-in in the fourth quarter, when the ball went out of bounds right in front of the loudest woman in the bleachers, and I took one small step back to inbound it, totally accidentally, mostly. Not every revenge story ends with someone losing their job or crying at a host stand. Some of them are small, some of them last about 1.5 seconds and involve a shoe. And some of those are the ones you still smile about years later, driving home from college practice for no particular reason. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let me tell you about the pettiest, most satisfying accidental step I have ever taken. First, let me tell you about my coach, because she matters to this story. She was the kind of coach that players remember for the rest of their lives, not because she ran the hardest practices or drew up the most complicated plays, but because she cared about who we were becoming as much as how we performed. Her philosophy was simple and non-negotiable. We played with respect. Respect for our teammates, respect for the officials, respect for the other team, and yes, respect for the fans in the stands, even when they didn't deserve it. No trash talk, no dirty plays, no reactions to provocations. If someone fouled you hard, you got up. If someone said something from the bench, you kept your eyes forward. If the crowd got under your skin, you breathed through it and kept playing. Clean game, clean conduct, always. I genuinely loved this about her. I want to be clear about that. It made us better players and, I think, better people. Looking back now that I play at the college level, I can see exactly what she was building in us, and I'm grateful for every part of it. But human beings are human beings. And some days, some opponents, some gyms, they test you in ways that feel very specific and very personal. This particular game had been simmering from the opening tip. The other team was playing chippy, the kind of physical, edge-pushing style that stays just inside the foul line, but communicates very clearly that they're willing to go past it if needed. Elbows a little too present in the paint. Screens set a little too aggressively. Nothing the refs were calling, but nothing friendly either. The score was tight, which made everything feel higher stakes than it might have otherwise, and the gym was small enough that the crowd and the court existed in the same compressed, loud, overheated space. I was used to crowds. Most of the time, they were just background noise, a texture to the game, neither helpful nor harmful. You develop a kind of selective hearing after enough games, the ability to let the ambient noise wash past you without any of it actually landing. Most of the time. She had been going since before the opening whistle. I noticed her early in the first half. She was in the other team's section, close to the court because this was a small gym, and there wasn't much distance between the bleachers and the sideline. She was loud in a very specific way. Not the enthusiastic, invested loud of a fan who's genuinely excited about the game, but the complaining loud of someone who had decided that every single thing happening on the court was personally offensive to her. Bad calls, good calls, no calls, she had an opinion on all of them, delivered at full volume with a particular edge that managed to be directed at everyone simultaneously. The refs were incompetent. The other team, our team, was playing dirty. Her own team wasn't doing enough. The universe itself seemed to be conspiring against whatever outcome she had decided she deserved to witness. I want to be fair. She wasn't doing anything that doesn't happen at sporting events everywhere. Loud fans exist. Complaining fans exist. I know this now, having played against genuinely hostile crowds in college gyms that make that high school bleacher experience look like a library. In retrospect, she was maybe a 6 out of 10 on the annoying fan scale. But in that gym, on that day, during that close game, she was living rent-free in the back of my head, and I could not evict her. Late in the game, the ball went out of bounds on our end. Our ball, my throw-in. I was always our inbounder. I had good court vision and a strong pass, so this was my regular job on dead balls near the sideline. I walked over to the spot, received the ball from the ref, and turned to face the court. And I realized, with a very specific awareness, that her chair was directly behind me. The gym was small. There was almost no buffer between the out-of-bounds line and the first row of bleachers. When I took my position, my heels were maybe a foot from the shoes of the people sitting in the front row. This was normal. This happened at this gym all the time. The ref had paused the clock to sub some players in, which meant I had a moment of just standing there, ball in my hands, the game temporarily suspended, her voice directly behind my left ear complaining about something I can no longer remember, but which was, I'm sure, deeply important to her. I listened to approximately 4 seconds of it, and then I thought, the ref is about to blow the whistle. I am going to step back to gather myself for the inbound pass. This is a completely normal thing that inbounders do. The whistle blew. I took one step back. My heel came down on her shoe with the full, committed weight of a high school basketball player who had been listening to this woman for 3 quarters and change. The scoff was immediate and deeply satisfying, the specific, sharp intake of breath that means someone has been mildly inconvenienced and wants everyone in a 15-foot radius to know about it. There was some flustered shuffling behind me, a noise of irritated indignation that, if translated into words, would have been approximately, "How very dare you?" I did not turn around. I did not acknowledge it. I found my teammate cutting baseline, hit her with the pass, and jogged up the court to get back into the play. The game moved on. Nobody saw anything. Nobody called anything. The ref certainly wasn't going to blow the whistle because a player stepped on a spectator's shoe while inbounding the ball in a gym the size of a large living room. And behind me, I could hear that for the first time all game, she had gone quiet. I didn't react. I didn't look back. I didn't smile until I was facing the other direction, jogging up toward half court, where nobody from her section could see my face. Then I smiled so wide it probably looked like I'd just hit a 3-pointer. She settled down after that. Not completely. She found her voice again eventually, because people like her always do. But there was a slightly less certain quality to it for the rest of the game. The energy of someone who had become, briefly and without fully understanding why, slightly less comfortable in her seat. We won the game. My coach never knew. My teammates never knew. The ref never knew. The woman in the bleachers never knew. She assumed, correctly from her perspective, that a basketball player had accidentally stepped on her foot during an inbound play, because that is exactly what sometimes happens when a small gym puts the crowd 4 inches from the court. And I carried it home like a small, perfect, completely unverifiable secret. Here's what I love about this story, looking back. My coach was right. She was right about everything. The way we conducted ourselves on that court, the discipline, the restraint, the refusal to engage with provocation, that was the right way to play and the right way to be. I don't regret a single principle she instilled in us. But there is a very specific category of human experience that no coaching philosophy fully addresses, which is, what do you do with a completely unavoidable, completely accidental, deeply convenient moment that resolves itself without any meaningful input from you whatsoever? I stepped back to inbound a basketball. Physics happened. A shoe was briefly inconvenienced. That's sports, really. I play college ball now. The crowds are bigger, louder, and genuinely committed to getting in your head in ways that high school fans couldn't dream of. But every once in a while, when a ball goes out of bounds near the bleachers and I'm the one walking over to inbound it, I take my position, feel the proximity of the front row behind me, and think, plenty of room, just in case. If this tiny, petty, perfect story made you smile, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the smallest, most satisfying revenge you've ever gotten away with? The pettier, the better. I want every detail. And if you want more stories, big ones, small ones, and everything in between, subscribe. New story every week. See you on the court.